Hello, I'm Dr. Jeffrey Fidel. In this video, I'm going to go over who you think you are versus who you truly are. So who you think you are. Most of the time when we think about who we are, we think of the physical form of self. And how do we acquire this physical form of self? Usually when we look in the mirror, we see a reflection of ourselves. And what we see is a visual representation or a form that appears before us. So right now, if you're to think about who you are, you're likely going to create a visual thought of that very appearance that you're used to seeing every day as you look at yourself in the mirror. So that is a visual idea of who you are. Even throughout the day, as you look around, you might look at your hands or different parts of your body, and also that is more visual representations of who it is you are. You might be listening to your voice that you're accustomed to. Again, these are all thought-based, either visual or auditory identifications that are forming this conceptual self, the self that is all of the mind. Of course, since your earliest days, you've always identified yourselves with these different visual and audio thoughts because you're exposed to these things constantly. And you've been taught by other people that also have a conceptual idea of who they are, that this is truly who you are. Now, for the part of who you are that is not of the mind, and this is the non-dual aspect of your identity. And to discover this aspect, it's very simple. All that's required to reach this state is to stop thinking. Now, if you're having trouble stopping thinking, you can just constrict your vocal cords together, and you won't be able to talk to yourself. And therefore, you won't be able to hear any words in your mind, and you'll stop thinking. So we can try that now. Just stop thinking. Okay? So, when you stop thinking, what remains is who you truly are. Every time you start thinking again, you'll hear that voice again. When you identify with that voice, that is where the self or the conceptual self starts to form once again. So as soon as you hear that voice in your head, and you are completely thinking that that voice in your head or the visions in your head is who you are, you're back into the realm of the conceptual self, which is all thought-based. Thoughts of who you are, your belief systems, your visual appearance, all the conceptual ideas. So again, to go to the other non-dual aspect of yourself, which is that which remains when you stop thinking, we can try it once again. So we can stop thinking now. And so that which remains when you stop thinking is just that field of awareness. There's no more thoughts in the mind. It's just that there's an awareness of existence. And that's the non-dual aspect of who you are. It's just that awareness. When the thinking comes back, the awareness is now aware of the thinking or listening to thoughts. Awareness listening to thoughts. It's the identification with these thoughts, either auditory or visual, that creates the conceptual self, which is all based in the mind. So again, to practice going to the pure state of awareness is to simply stop thinking. And that can be done by constricting the vocal cords. And pay attention this time to maybe the sensation of your body without thought, or the sensation of your breathing without thought, or anything within you, the beingness within you that remains when you stop thinking. And let's try that. So we're going to stop thinking and then bring awareness to the silent essence that is left over when the mind is no longer in thought. So you can feel the aliveness of the whole body, even in the absence of thought. And that's what is always there. So regardless of what thoughts are in your mind, that part is there, whether you're thinking or not. That awareness is there, and that's why you can't be your thoughts, because when you stop thinking, which you of course can do all the time, even when you go to sleep, you're not in active thoughts. You don't disappear when you stop thinking, so therefore you can't be your thoughts. What's left when you stop thinking is that awareness. So in summary, there's the two parts. There's the dualistic aspect of yourself, which is the conceptual self, which is of the mind, and that's the physical form that you remember yourself to be, usually by looking in the mirror or by listening to your voice all day, your belief systems and what you like, what you don't like. These are all acquired during your lifetime and are of the mind. And then there's the non-dual aspect, which is that which is always present whether or not you're thinking. And that's just the awareness itself. It's the presence that you are. And this presence that you are is not separate from the presence that is going on at all times throughout the existence. In other words, you, as well as everything else in this universe, is seamlessly woven into itself. So there is no true separation between you or me or anything else in this existence that's always happening in this present moment. So this presence that you are is always there. And that's the non-dualistic aspect of yourself. That's the part of yourself that cannot be known conceptually, because, once again, if you name it presence, it's reduced into a concept. If you name it universe, it's reduced into a concept. If you name it God, it's reduced into a concept. So the presence itself, this, again, even non-duality doesn't do that, because that names it into a word. This, which is remaining, is the non-dual identity that is beyond all concepts. The residual awareness is it.